All right, the big foreign policy news overnight is that Joe Biden is going to leave Afghanistan on the schedule he most recently put in place, which is August 31st. And I have to tell you, foreign policy is very complicated. Foreign policy typically has ifs, ands, and buts, but as many of you have continued to email me about, some in agreement, some in disagreement, this is one of the clearest and most black-white sort of decisive ways that I've seen foreign policy carried out, and I agree with it 100%. And we're going to talk about why. But the big news is that indeed Joe Biden is confirming that the United States will keep its August 31st deadline, saying yesterday, the sooner we finish, the better. Joe Biden said yesterday the U.S. is on track to complete its hurried airlift in Afghanistan by August 31st, acknowledging he does not plan to keep American troops in the country any longer, even as questions remain over who will be able to leave and when. In late afternoon remarks at the White House, Biden recognized the success of the mission will depend largely on cooperation from the Taliban. He said he's asked military leaders to be ready with contingency options to adjust the timetable if it becomes necessary. We are currently on pace to finish by August 31, he said. I am determined to complete our mission. This is completely the right decision. Now, on cost alone, looking at what has been spent in Afghanistan over the last 20 years, leaving is completely justified. On failed policy alone, meaning we aren't making any progress there. And in fact, the longer we stay, we are merely delaying the inevitable while spending more money. On failed policy alone, you could justify leaving. On the length of time we've been there alone, you could even maybe justify leaving, meaning even if you could justify the cost, which you can't, even if you could make the case that you were somehow succeeding, which we aren't, just the fact that it's been 20 years would in some sense justify leaving. But it's all of these things and more. And we have to be able to look at it and say, Barack Obama was wrong to stay there. Donald Trump was wrong to stay there. Joe Biden is right to leave. That's the big picture, and the rest of it is details. Now, they are important details. The details are important for sure. Like, for example, did we adequately plan for getting people out? And that includes Americans, but that also includes what is happening from the standpoint of refugees. Did we plan appropriately for the humanitarian fallout? And on and on. But we have now evacuated more than 70,000 people. And here is Joe Biden explaining it.
As of this afternoon, we've helped evacuate 70,700 people just since August the 14th, 75,900 people since the end of July. Just in the past 12 hours, another 19 U.S. military flights, 18 C-17s and one C-130 carrying approximately 6,400 evacuees, and 31 coalition flights carrying 5,600 people have left Kabul just in the last 12 hours. A total of 50 more flights, 12,000 more people since I updated you this morning. These numbers are a testament to the efforts of our brave service women and men, to our diplomats on the ground in Kabul, and to our allies still standing with us.
And as I tweeted to much reaction last night, Biden gets out of a 20-year quagmire in Afghanistan, evacuates more than 70,000 people, and as of now, no Americans have died, and we're supposed to believe that this is bad? And you've seen Fox News say it's bad because, of course, it's Biden. You've seen other media outlets, sometimes considered left, sometimes considered centrist, sometimes merely just corporate media outlets, play up, well, shouldn't we maintain a presence? Shouldn't we stay, etc.? No. And this has really exposed the kind of corporatist it's not even really pro-war, it's just pro-foreign intervention status quo or default position of so many of the media outlets, even considered to be left by some. So now we get to the details. And of course, the details are important. Afghanistan fell to the Taliban in a weekend. Now, there are some who are looking at that and are saying, well, that's evidence that we didn't handle the withdrawal appropriately. I would actually say the opposite. I would say that if after 20 years, Afghanistan fell to the Taliban in a weekend, there was nothing you could do to prevent that from happening sooner or later if you left. And the fact that it happened in a weekend is proof that we should be out of there. We should have left sooner, not stayed longer. So this is arguably the best thing that Joe Biden has done. And you have to really look at the motivations of the different people that are criticizing the decision. There are some on the left who are criticizing the decision merely because they want to show their progressive credentials and they want to criticize Biden no matter what. That's some people. Similarly, there are those on the right who are ignoring the fact that Donald Trump had the exact same plan. It would have been carried out in the exact same way, no matter what he tells you. And they are saying, well, no, Biden did it wrong. Trump would have done it correctly. They are obviously incorrect about that as well. And then, of course, you have the fact that so much of the media is saying, was this actually right? Should we have stayed? Blah, 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 blah. That confirms, as I mentioned, this kind of status quo pro-intervention bias. The issues now are, can we continue getting Americans out safely? And how many Afghan lives can we also save? And that has to be a priority as well. But if we look at everything Joe Biden has done so far, this is one of the major accomplishments. This has been a 20-year quagmire started by George W. Bush. We arguably never should have gone. If we did, we should have left, 18, 17 years ago? I mean, that's in the most generous point, the most generous interpretation. And we can't fall for the concern trolls, quite frankly, is what they are on both sides. So if you want to email me and say, well, this could have been better planned or that could have been better planned, sure, I'll probably agree with you. But this was a decisive action by Joe Biden. It was the right decisive action. And the idea that we should be criticizing him for finally getting us out is really, it's depressing to see from how many different sides that's the perspective that we are seeing. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night helps you sleep. I can't sleep in a hot room. That's why I love our sponsor, Chili Sleep, which makes customizable climate-controlled sleep solutions to sleep better. Their flagship products are the Uller sleep system and the Cube sleep system, which is what I have. Both are hydro-powered, temperature-controlled luxury mattress pads. You can make them as cold as 55 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanted, you could go as hot as 115 degrees. I like the cooler option. I keep mine at 60 degrees, and it gives me a great cool night of sleep. No feeling hot, no more sweating. I'm falling asleep faster, and it pairs perfectly with Chili Sleep's weighted Chili Blanket, which keeps you cold on top, too. They'll give you 20% off everything when you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.